Hello, and welcome to Besties Do Verticals with your besties, Alita and Lucy. Hi, I'm Alita.
And I'm Lucy.
Thank you for tuning in to our very first interview episode. We talked about possibly having people from the industry, specifically those that worked and contributed to Queer Verticals, come on and talk about their experiences. Lucy and I feel that it's really important that those in the queer vertical industry have a voice and a place to talk about what they're working on or current struggles. We are so excited to have our very first guest, a dear friend, Jeanette Kauffman.
Yay! Thank you, Nutty Jeanette, for coming on.
Yes.
We're so excited.
I'm excited to be here, so.
Yay! So I know her as Nettie, and she is a good friend of mine. We are so grateful to her for being our first guinea pig. Guest on our podcast. She is going to help us understand the process and work out all the kinks. Kink. In case we want to try and do more in the future. Sorry, I'm just going to make both of them laugh now. Nettie is a professional scriptwriter who has worked in the film industry for 8 years. She is a vertical drama fan and currently trying to break into the vertical market. We are so excited to have her with us today. So would you introduce yourself, Nettie?
Yes, my name is most of my family and friends call me Nettie, but my name is Jeanette. And I work for a daytime soap opera right now. I work for one of the big daytime soap operas. I've been a dialogue writer there for 8 years now. So,
Wow.
so that's what I do. And basically, so for the last probably 6-7 months, I've been trying to see if I could get a vertical made because I think it would be fun. So that's part of it. So yeah, that's me.
I love it. And something I was actually going to ask you in your intro is, how did we meet you? How did I meet you? How did Alita get involved? I think you should explain that.
Well, it's kind of really, I just started like hanging out because I really was getting into the queer verticals on my own. And actually how I met you guys, I don't know if you even know. So how I met you guys is that there used to be like a group chat and someone just randomly dropped me into that group chat without like me even knowing anyone, in there. And ever since then, I've known you guys. So yeah.
I feel like I remember when I really put two and two together who you were is Nettie was in Evan's subscriber chat with us.
Mm-hmm.
And I just let it all hang out. And I said where I lived.
Yep.
And Nettie was like, wait, I live in this area of that state. And I was like, wait.
We discovered we live about 30 minutes apart at the very most.
Yeah, I mean, what's so funny is I always say just 10 minutes apart, but it's not true. It is 30
It's like
minutes
30.
apart.
It's 30. Well, because I live in the middle of nowhere, so.
You do, and that's okay though. But it is really cool because out of the fandom, I think her and I are the only ones that I know of that get to hang out in person.
Yeah.
And geek out. We did recently decorate our arms with vertical drama tattoos. They're going to say, take this out.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
And we I might as well just set it straight here. We should have done things like a Suckum tattoo. Yeah, TMRB tattoo. But we were like, what are the most awkward things we can put on our arms?
Yep.
And that's what we did.
We did that.
And then we made a video of it. And then Evan's like, cool. He's a great supporter of our chaos.
Yes, he was a great supporter of our chaos. So
I love it. Can you tell us, because I don't think it's in the questions, for the intro, what are some things that were new and exciting for you recently that are kind of helping you break into the vertical industry market? Like things you've been trying to work on without giving too much away, because we'll get to that in the questions.
Well, so I have been like, obviously trying to, like, I wrote a vertical and it was kind of an interesting adventure because it is like a really different type of writing than, anything that you're doing in the regular industry. So that was interesting. But basically, I started doing contests. I started trying to enter contests, and I also started trying to pitch to the apps, which pitching to the apps was not the most successful thing. But that's the things that I did was I started trying to pitch to the apps directly, and also I tried entering several contests. So, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the LA drama market that might have happened recently?
Yes, but I didn't know if you wanted me to tell that yet. So, so the LA vertical drama market, that was a really cool experience. So basically, I submitted my script on a website called Film Freeway. They have lots and lots of like film and script writing and different kinds of festivals that they offer. I've actually entered it in a few more that haven't happened yet, but I entered it in the LA vertical drama markets. They called it their Vertigo pitch competition. And, I kind of figured we'd see what would happen. Well, they picked 12 people and I was one of the 12. So I had to go to LA. I found out it was interesting because I found out on the 5th of May and had to be in LA on the 8th of May. So that was a little bit like, oh my God, you know what I mean? But yeah, so I pitched in front of a panel of people. I will admittedly say I was very, very nervous to do that. And I had never done a true pitch like that before. So that was interesting. And we still don't have the results of that, but it was a really cool experience. And I also learned a lot about what they're doing in verticals there too. So that was cool.
That's amazing.
Agreed. I love it. I love to hear what you're kind of up to and where things are going.
So tell us, how did you get into vertical dramas, Nettie?
You mean like watching them?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the same way I think everybody else did, like from the crappy like clickbait ads. I think we all got into them from the crappy clickbait ads. I mean, can anybody admit that they didn't get into a vertical drama from the crappy clickbait ads? I mean, it happened.
We were all sucked in by Suckham.
And I've I will admittedly say I've always been kind of a soapy person. So like they drew me in because I was like, okay, these are cool because they're like mini soaps, because that's what they are. They're basically like mini soap operas. So told in 1-minute bits as opposed to, 1-hour episodes. So yeah.
What was the drama that sucked you in? Was it Suckham?
The first vertical drama I ever actually watched was not Suckham, but Suckham was the first vertical drama I really liked a lot, like that really like made me want to watch more. The first vertical drama I ever watched was actually My Secret Agent Husband.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, the king of stage kissing.
The worst thing ever. I mean, not to insult these people, but yes, some of the worst stage kissing ever. So. Yeah, but it's a good vertical. I mean, I actually think it's a really good vertical if it didn't have the stage kissing. But no, that was my first one. But Suckham was the first vertical I ever like really loved. It was the first vertical I ever really like went, okay, I love this. So yeah.
I love it. Very cool. Well, what is your favorite vertical and why?
I have massive feelings about this. I can't pick one. My favorite vertical is either Suckham or Tutoring My Rival Boy. I love both of them, and I love both of them a lot. So it's hard for me. I think it's that I have a affinity to Evan, and I just can't pick. But that's the reality.
It's okay to tie. I have 2 tied for my favorite as well.
I know what they are.
Everybody knows what they are.
Yeah, they do. So yeah, that's my favorite.
So we're very interested in hearing about that script that you pitched at the LA Drama Market. Brother of the Bride.
Yep.
Can you give us a breakdown and what your hopes are for it?
I'm gonna read the log line from it because I think it's like a really good explanation of the entire script. So it's basically, after being unexpectedly left at the altar, a young man finds true love with the last person he ever expected, which is the brother of his former bride. Ooh. So it is kind of like a brother-in-law story. It's, like I think we've seen brother-in-law stories, where like girl goes home to meet boy's family and ends up falling in love with his brother. or some, version of that. But that's what this is. So except for it starts out with the main character who being left at the altar by his girlfriend who he's been with since he was like a kid. And he's also best friends with this girl's brother. And they've always been best friends. But the brother is gay. This is a known thing pretty early. And he's always kind of had a crush on him too. And as the story progresses, the two of them sort of after she leaves him sort of evolve into falling in love with each other. And then a series of things happens because this man, Milo, who's the main character, who is not based on Miles at all, which is kind of interesting. That's actually the character I think of as more being the Greg Duffy character. He is he slowly falls in love. We watch him slowly fall in love with Artie, who is the other character. And it's very interesting because throughout the course of all of that happening, we learn that Milo's father is really not okay with this, and he does a lot of things to try to break them up, along with Amelia also being a major factor in their relationship as well. So, but of course, it has a happy ending. It's all good. And yeah, there we are.
And Amelia is the sister of
Yes.
Artie.
Of Artie, yes. She is the original bride of the story.
Okay. Are they twins? I can't remember.
They are twins.
Okay. And I know you touched on it a little bit, but kind of who's your little dream cast for it?
So when I wrote the script, I'm going to say real quick that when I wrote this script, I was actually really angry about the fact that we weren't getting a Succumb 2 from Good Short. And that's where the whole heart of why I decided to write a vertical script came from. I really just went I'm so tired of us not getting Succumb 2. And I couldn't write Succumb 2 because I don't have the rights to write Succumb 2. But I mean, I could write it if they'd let me write it, but they aren't going to let me write it. So I came up with this other story that would have Evan Gambardella as Artie and Greg Duffy as Milo. In my original vision, I actually had those names switched, but then I thought it was too on the nose that Milo was Miles. And I eventually, I stuck with it, but so that's...
Isn't there that character from Atlantis named Milo that kind of looks like Greg?
Yes, that is correct. Yes, that is correct. I also see, someone like Erin Orcutt playing Amelia, because I think she's already worked with Greg, and I think it would be a cool thing to have her as well. I don't know that would ever happen again. It's just my dream cast, but,
And currently that is the script that you've been pitching. That's correct. The one that went at the LA Drama Market. So we also understand that you just finalized your second BL script, Forbidden Steps. Can you talk to us about that process as you did Brother of the Bride? What it's about?
This one was easier to write, though, because I'd already written one, and I already kind of knew how they get written. Again, I don't know, because it's really early stages on that one. I just finished it, but it is basically, and it's kind of funny because we actually had a stepbrother one come out, but it is a stepbrother one. It is very different than the stepbrother one that came out. They're adult stepbrothers. Essentially, in this story, the main character, whose name is Kingston, comes home from being at college to find that his mother is engaged to a very wealthy man who he quickly figures out is the father of his former high school bully, Trevor. Although Trevor was kind of debatably not a really bad bully, someone else was really the bully. But Trevor was definitely, the hot, attractive kid in high school, and Kingston was definitely the nerdy kid in high school. And of course, throughout the course of the antics of living together, we learned that the reason that Trevor was kind of so mean to Kingston all those years is that Trevor is gay and has had a crush on Kingston, nerdy Kingston, ever since they were kids. And again, it's the antics of vertical drama happen, and Trevor is being forced to marry a girl that he doesn't really like very much, named April. And there's a lot of things that happen with that. So, and then of course, we get to the fact that they do end up together at the end. So,
do you have specific actors in mind for that one?
yeah, that one I actually envisioned Sky and Evan in. More than I envisioned Greg in that one. Sorry, Alita.
That's hey.
So one of the reasons Nettie and I think get along so well is our brains are the same when it comes to where our how should I say this? Motivations for why we are doing what we're doing, why she writes scripts, why essentially we did start this podcast. A part of the reason was Evan. Evan is so charming, and Evan sucked us in, just like Greg sucked Alita in.
For sure.
But just kidding. Just kidding. Greg sucked us in too.
No, we're not taking that out. I like it. Oh. She's fallen over.
We love you. You're the best.
Awesome.
Thank God. He's never going to listen. It's okay. It's all good.
He listened to the first one. There's always a shot.
He's not listening to any more.
He may listen to all of them.
He's not. He's busy.
I love it.
Oh my God.
All right, Alita, I'll let you settle yourself and not bang and go to the next question.
It's a good thing you're far away from me right now.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, dear.
Okay.
Me now again. So, I'm all discombobulated now.
Sorry.
Nettie, what made you want to become a screenwriter in the first place?
No.
What?
No. You skipped a question.
Oh, whoops. I skipped a question.
Girl.
Okay. It's okay. I would have answered.
All right. Go ahead.
I was kind of like, that's not what the next question
Do you
is.
want me to ask the next one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
this is why podcasts take a while for us, and then I take so long editing. All right, here we go.
What is it about Evan and Greg that sucked you in? Lucy and I are also huge fangirls, as you know.
I don't know. I think it was, honestly, for me, it was actually the fact that Suckham was so, okay. This is going to sound funny because there are still problems in Suckham, but Suckham is unproblematic for a vertical. I know that sounds strange, but it's really unproblematic for a vertical. And so many verticals are problematic, but I fell in love with Greg and Evan's chemistry in it, but I also really love that vertical because I can watch that whole vertical without skipping anything and not feel gross about it. There are a lot of them that's true of. And so I will say that that's why that vertical sucked me in. But I also say Evan and Greg's chemistry is amazing. We all know that. We all want it again. We've been wanting it again. So yeah, that's it.
So were you there for the first live that they did?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. Because that's when they got us, isn't it, Lucy?
Yeah, I was going to say, when did you start hopping into the subscriber chats? Was it November?
Mm-hmm. I think so. I don't think it was right in November. I don't think it was right in November, no.
Okay. Was it December?
I think it was December.
Dude, time has gone by really fast. Wow.
Because I don't think that I wasn't there for the first live, no. I wasn't.
Yeah, that was September 14th, the first live. Mm-hmm. So that was a long time before that.
My perception of time is really messed up because it doesn't seem like December was that long ago, but I feel like I've known Nettie for a very long time. And I think it's because... No, yeah, it hasn't been that long. And I feel like it's probably because we talk to each other every day.
Yeah.
We all work from home. And so we just have... We're just
hey. Work from home.
So we get to talk to each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
So why did you want to become a scriptwriter?
I don't know. I can't really answer that. I can tell you that as long ago as I remember, I always did. I remember telling my high school English teacher that my dream was to become a scriptwriter. And her everybody else told me, oh, you'll never make it in that. So many people want to be scriptwriters and never make it. And she did not. She was like, no, she's like, if that's what you want to do, then you do it. And so ever since then, I've been like, I'm actually going to try to do it. I mean, I will not lie that and say it's easy to get in script writing, especially in like Hollywood. I think it's probably easier in verticals because they make so many and yeah. But, you work hard for it and that's what you have to do. So yeah, I can't really say when I wanted to be when as long as I can remember, I did.
I like it.
What is your writing routine? How do you organize your days? Or do you?
Not well. So I am a little different than a lot of people, like when it comes to writing, although, not necessarily. I do outline some, like a lot of people will outline their entire work before they ever do it. I don't do that. I'm a very organic writer. Like I tend to be like, oh no, I want to do this next. You know what I mean? And sometimes like my outlines won't be anywhere close to what it was originally going to be because I'll be like, once I start writing, I'll be like, oh no, I like this better. So I tend to be like a more organic writer. There are some people that have to have like a stringent outline of everything they're going to write in their script. And I think that in some ways that type of writing is really good for people because a lot of companies and things will want your full outline before they want your script. You know what I mean? Like they'll want to, like when you're writing something for so for example, like if I were writing something for one of the vertical apps, they would probably ask me for a timeline first, and I would probably have to stick to that timeline, and then I have more issues. But I can still do it. It's just that's I'm different in that respect. I much prefer like writing organically. So
Like it. Another writing question. Are there any methods you use for character creation and development?
on the vertical side, well, so I will say on the soap side, I've never gotten to make a character. Like I don't get that kind of, like the characters are all way above my head. But like on the vertical side and in like my previous stuff that I've ever done, I mean, a lot of times my characters are inspired by people I like at that time, and that's not necessarily always the case. Like, or they might be inspired by like several of the people I like at that time combined into one character. I've done that too. So I will say that's a huge part of character inspiration for me. Although I'm not saying like in the fan fiction way, I'm saying like okay, I really like this person. I want to write a character like what they would be like in this situation, and then I start, you know, building characters. I'm terrible at naming characters. I've been known to use like name generators for my characters, sadly.
I love hearing the methods, the method, but madness behind the method.
Yeah.
The method behind the madness.
Is that what I meant to say? There we go.
There you go.
How do you maintain your flow of creativity day to day?
So it really depends. There are days where I just don't. I'll put it out there. There are days where I just don't.
Fair.
And it sucks because there are days where I'll be like, there are days when I will write 10 episodes of a vertical script. And there are days that I will write no episodes of a vertical script. And I mean, I also have a real job, so that sometimes, factors into it too. But it just depends. I try to make myself write something every day. Doesn't always happen, but I try to I have a rule that I try to make myself write something every day. As I said, there are days though where it's not going to happen. So
fair. Maybe the final question, maybe, unless I come up with some new and exciting ones on the spot. But what are some of your favorite and most inspiring films?
That's a hard question. I have always been kind of more, like, I would say currently, I mean, if I'm talking about very currently, I would say like Red, White, and Royal Blue because it's queer. I would say, I mean, if I can say TV shows, I would, there's a few of those. I really like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. Have you ever, I think Lucy has seen it. Imagine Me and You. Have you ever seen it? It's a GL, movie. It's old too. But I really like that movie a lot. I really like a lot of, I mean, obviously, like, I also grew up in like the Buffy era of television. So like, as far as like that's a huge inspiration for me, even though I don't really do fantasy. But I do, I do love that. That was like my show when I was a kid, so that's where I'm at.
I love it. I love it. I love that you love Buffy and all the things I love.
So actually, when I was a kid, my favorite movie was 10 Things I Hate About You, though. So try
I
to figure
love
that out.
10 things I
That's my
hate about
favorite movie.
you.
I cried so hard when Heath Ledger died. Like I can't even express it to you. Like it was crazy. But that's life. So
That's going to be me when Sigourney Weaver passes away because she is my goddess. And I lost Alan Rickman already, and he was my favorite actor. And so I worry deeply every day. So, Nettie, what do you envision for yourself, like where you want to be in the next 5 years in your, like with what you're trying to do? You're currently trying to break into the vertical industry market. Let's say you do. What's your vision of yourself?
Well, I would really like to I really want to make more verticals, like that's the biggest thing. But I also like I've been like in the very beginnings of like a little project with some people to like maybe make a queer app, which would be cool. We don't really have that like ready to be made or anything yet. We're still looking for backers for that, but we are like in the process of trying, like the very early stages of trying to see if we can make that happen. Because I think a queer based vertical app would be really cool. And I would want several kinds of queer content on that if I did it. Like I would want like GL and BL, and maybe even like I think it would be interesting to have like some more interesting stuff, like maybe some non-binary or even like trans content. Like we don't have that in verticals now. But yeah, as far as like so that we're tentatively calling that Ally TV. I have no idea how far that'll get or if how that project's going to go, but we are kind of in the starts of working on that. So that's been kind of cool, and I do see myself like writing more queer verticals. I struggle because I think that one of my biggest struggles of breaking into the industry for me personally has been that I don't really want to write straight content. I would do it 100% if they asked, if like an app hired me and they gave me prompts and told me what to write, I would do it. But it's not where I want to be, what I want to be doing. And I've been putting that out to all of the apps when I've been applying. I've been like, look, I really prefer writing this. And maybe they just don't have a home for that right now. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
there's
they're
that.
all very tentative about their getting into queer content,
Although
sort
it's
of.
really happening. Like there's so many like one of the things I learned at the vertical drama market is how much like they were all saying, "Oh no, BL is like the thing right now." So they said that multiple times throughout the course of the conference. So I thought that
Then
was kind
our
of cool.
boys should be working.
That's right, damn it.
Here's the thing
Hire
though.
Evan.
The thing that's
And
kind of
Andrew.
making me, yeah, Andrew too. The thing that's kind of making me nervous about that is I'm seeing a lot of BL and those guys aren't in it. So it'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see. And I'm happy to see new actors in it, but I also think the ones that started it should be working. Like I think the ones that started it should really be getting parts too. And I just don't know how to rectify that like within like the thing. So there's that. But yeah, they kept saying, so I know for a fact that the Shorts app, which has never done one before, is doing a BL. I don't know many details about it, but they're definitely doing one. And I got the impression from several of the people there that my drama is like almost completely doing that kind of content. So that'll be interesting to see going forward. Like it sounded like most of their upcoming projects during the Little My Drama pitch were queer. That's something to, I mean, those are all great, great things. So
I'm really excited about that with my drama. Actually, we like to look at their new and upcoming, and half of what they're releasing is girl love. So there are five, I don't know if there's, no, I think it's close to five. So I'm pretty sure my drama, everything new that's coming out, half of it is queer, it looks like. And I'm pretty sure there's five girl loves coming out. One just released today, or it might have been the other day. It's on early access. And we are going to try to recap this actually. It's called The Summer in Between. And we weren't sure what it was at first because it's definitely poly. It looked poly. I found out very quickly in the first episode that it cannot be poly, and it ended up being LGBT. And it's like one of the best ones. So I'm gonna be really excited to recap that. And Alita and I are insane, and we're like, we're free this weekend. Let's record every day. And then that's insane because I'm like, where are we actually going to release the episodes? Because we're not going to release more than twice a week. So it's just going to be crazy. But yes, no, I am glad to hear about my drama and releasing more queer. It gives me a lot of hope.
My drama had a bunch of BL too, but they don't show it right now. Like what they're showing right now is all GL.
And that's okay. And that is okay.
Because nobody has it but them, pretty much.
I know. Well, I'm excited. There's a few others. We'll have the Shot at Love coming out, but we didn't really have anything before that. It is pretty much my drama.
They also said that Candy Jar has one. They just haven't released it yet. That was something else that came out during the conference. Is Candy Jar has a GL.
Yes, I can't wait. I'm so excited. Okay, I did have a follow-up question. You talked a little bit about it, but can you discuss, with what you're comfortable, some more of the challenges that you've been experiencing trying to break into the vertical industry?
So it's been harder than not necessarily harder than I thought it would be. I still think it's probably easier than Hollywood, but it's not been super, super easy. I've applied for Real Shorts job, like remote scriptwriter jobs 6,000 times. So if Real Short's listening to this and they're interested in a BL scriptwriter, come on, guys, like message
She's
me
right
back.
there.
They haven't even messaged me back. Like it's not even like they don't even acknowledge that I've applied. And then like one time I got a message from them that their pool of applicants was very large and that they would get back to me some like at some point in time with like an answer, but then they never have. And we're talking, this has been months and months and months. So I'm going to say that either they don't want me or their pool is so big that it's going to take them a year to figure out like that they do want me. I've kind of just, and it's funny because they keep reposting their job listing. So I keep just reapplying for it over and over again. So if they decide they change their minds, But so that was one of the things. And then I've sent my script off to a couple different apps. One app in particular, I did not like their response, but most of the apps have been nice. Most of them honestly have just never even replied to me. It's not even that I'm not getting I'm getting, oh, your stuff's crap. Well, I would like it if they said, oh, your stuff's crap. They don't even do that. They don't even acknowledge that they ever received it. So it's like, okay, so where do I go now? You know what I mean? So I started trying to do the contests. I made it to the semifinals of the Drama Box contest. I have some questions about that because I discovered that no queer scripts made it into the finals of the Drama Box contest. So I don't know if that was like a factor or if they just didn't like my stuff. I have no answer to that. I will say that the version of the script I submitted to the Drama Box contest was not as finished as the current version is. I just wanted to submit it. I just wanted to get something submitted. The vertical drama, or the LA, so then I was on Film Freeway, which like I said is a place where they have contests and things, and I saw this vertical drama pitch competition for the LA vertical drama market. At that time, I didn't really know what it was, but I went ahead and submitted my script to it, and I was one of the 12 people chosen. I'm under the understanding that there was a lot of people that submitted scripts, so I think it was pretty cool that I got picked. I was actually really excited at that event because there was actually two BLs that were presented in the 12. So they were very open to that. They were not I don't have an answer about Drama Box. I'm not judging them. They made their choice. But what I'm saying is they didn't pick any queer scripts. So I don't know like if that was a factor or not. I know that so I've like I said, I have just been I've been sort of trying to figure out what to do next now. I do have a very lovely person that has offered to help me a lot. And we will see how that goes. I don't want to say who that is, but I have a very lovely human that has offered to help me a lot with it. So we will see how that goes. And yeah, if there's anybody out there that wants a BL script, feel free to reach out to me because I'm here for it.
She's got 2 complete, but she actually has other ideas.
I have 4.
Yeah. And there's do you 4 total or 4 more on top of the 2?
There's 3 more on top of the 2, so I guess it's 5 now.
Was one of them the Riley and Evan one I want?
No. But it can be.
So we're going to add to 6 here. So
that's Lucy's idea, not mine. But
yeah. Well, no, we talked about it. Okay.
We did talk about it. We had a whole conversation about it.
We did. I said, I have ample amount of time and I will help you write this if you're up for it. And
you do not have ample amount of time.
I was thinking to myself when she said that, I'm like, my God, girl, you don't have any time at all.
No. And it's because everybody's releasing all the queer content. And you know what? That's okay. Keep going, apps. Make us suffer because it feels good. I want to suffer.
You had 2 released today, and one of them was a complete and total surprise. So
yes. Well, they both were kind of surprises. Like the Girl Love wasn't supposed to release for a week, and I realized I forgot my drama does early access, and so I got to see it before. So that is what's really interesting. But let's talk about Evan a little bit, guys, just because we like to talk about Evan on every podcast if we possibly can. And anyway, so Evan and Riley did a good short together recently, and we don't know what it is, but I think they're both supporting characters in it.
They are both definitely supporting characters in it. I think Tess Dinnerstein is the lead, just based on some pictures that I saw. I don't know if you guys know who that is. She's a very famous vertical drama actress.
Yes. And I did see that. And oh gosh, what was it? I saw some of the BTS and it just like hit me because they were in some of the BTS.
Riley and Evan
together. They look good together. I never thought about it. So things that we know is Riley has been trying to break into BLs his whole vertical career and no one ever hires him. And I also got it confirmed he's never played a lead in a vertical. He's been doing supporting for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I can't believe that Riley Nottingham has been doing only like freaking supporting roles. It's crazy because he's a very talented actor. So,
and he's a filmmaker, and he's produced, and he's written, and he's starred in like so many things already, just outside of the vertical world.
And he's married to Declan Clifford. So
yes, they are the cutest husbands in the world. And so I kind of wonder. When I saw them together, I was like, they actually look really good together. And I think to be honest, I think they could only do like a comedy potentially.
Oh yeah, it'd have to be funny.
Yeah. But they're both comedians. Like they're both hilarious. Like it would be really good. So anyway, I have a Delulu thought and Delulu dream that when Nettie's done with her millions of scripts that she already has, like maybe, we could talk about an Evan and Riley one.
Yes, well, I have one that I have to finish for Alita because she read the first 5 episodes of it and informed me I had to finish it, so I have to finish that one.
I have another idea, actually.
Oh, mine first.
Well, everyone's with Princess First Love heading for 30 million. We're all wanting a part 2 of that. However, it occurred to me, another thing we've all been asking for is Greg and Andrew as vampires. So,
yes,
vampire princes.
Okay,
they would be good vampires.
They would be good vampires.
I feel it. We're keeping this girl busy. Well, and now I just have a vision of like Nettie with like 7 or 8 complete BL scripts and just be like, take your pick, dude. Take your pick. Come on. But no, it's really cool. Do you have more questions, Alita? I might have more, but you go.
You go ahead if you have more questions, and I'll just jump in if I think of something. I'm not.
You haven't thought of anything? I was counting on you. Honestly, we're doing pretty good. We can wrap up.
I had a migraine this morning, and my brain is just mush, honestly. So
smushies. Okay. So, Nettie, we are so grateful that you were our first guest.
Mm-hmm.
And was the experience painful or painless?
It was painless.
Woohoo!
It's good.
We are so excited. I have to say that these last few months that I've gotten to know you and learn about you, I'm so grateful that we do live very close to each other. It's been really inspiring seeing how much you care about certain things in the vertical industry. She didn't really talk about it, but something that is very important to her is moving away from the problematic parts of the verticals.
That's very important to me.
Exactly. And you've talked about, there's things that you watch that look good, and then they throw in beating up a pregnant woman with a baseball bat.
Right. And I don't understand why we're beating up a pregnant woman with a baseball bat. It's just wrong. And trying to make them miscarry. Like, that was the worst ad I have ever seen in my life. Like, I was crying from that ad. Like, and this is just not okay. And so, like, it's very interesting, though, because I think it's going to be harder than we realize to break away from those things, because what the vertical apps are really want is, and it's very funny because, like, I learned a lot of this when I was at the convention, like, exactly how they view, like, how you write a script. So every 10 to 13 episodes, depending on the length of the vertical. And even some apps that do really short, like Candy Jar, do 5. But they expect it to be what they call an ad cycle, which is they can use these 10 episodes or these 13 episodes as an ad. And what the cycles are is basically like, you get close to, in the first 10 episodes, you get close to the goal and then you break it again, right? Obviously, we see this in verticals all the time, like as a writing technique. And then the next 10 episodes, you get a little closer to that goal and then they break it again, and they do that. That's how they want them written. So the problem with this is that that's the clickbaity stuff and that's really what the apps want. They want these to be written in that way. So you have to figure out ways to write them in that way that aren't so shocking and bloody and gross. I don't really watch straight verticals very much, and it's because of the content in them. I feel that a lot of them are very, very offensive to the female people in them. So
it is. And I feel like you said earlier, verticals are like soap operas. And I've heard people describe that. I've heard people even generalize us, right? The fans, they're all 40 to 60-year-old housewives. Now, is there some validity to that? Sure. There absolutely. Yeah, the three of us. But the thing is that there are other people who are watching them.
For sure.
Yeah. And I've heard from, I don't know if I've heard from actors or other fans, but how some apps are trying to break into the male market because it's primarily a female market. And so that's what I feel like You Messed with the Wrong Nerd is they took a script that was already made. It's usually the females who are the leads. They flipped them to male and they made it like potty humor. And so I really struggled with parts of that script. Like and the vertical, like there were things I loved. I loved Buddy, I loved Evan, and I loved Ben Armstrong. Like they were fabulous. But without them, that would have been the most miserable experience of my life to watch that. And it's because they were relying on the most outlandish, like, things that they could possibly do. And there was gross boy humor in it. And then I've noticed, like, real short... And that one's really popular, by the way, too. Like, a lot of people really like You Messed with the Wrong Nerd. But I feel like I've seen real short...
I also was with you on that. I did not necessarily love You Messed with the Wrong Nerd. It was not my favorite. But, I mean, I love it for Evan.
He was the best part. I mean, he was hilarious. And,
yes,
like, I love...
Yeah,
that's the only villain of his that I like. The other villains he's played are terrifying to me and make me want to pee my pants. because he's very effective at it.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. I was just thinking, it's interesting given that it is predominantly women watching verticals, at least at this point, why there is so much misogyny and violence against women, because you would think that women would not want to watch that. How are those verticals so popular? I mean,
because there are women that want to watch it, sadly. But here's the thing. So, like, something else they were talking about was that their goal is, so it started just like television. Apparently, television, when it was first started, was all housewives in their houses watching TV because they were the ones that were home during the day and the men weren't. So that was what TV originally was. And then over time, it evolved to have this big audience of lots of different things. And they said that's kind of their goal. Like, they started with women, just like television, and they're eventually going to branch out. Like they said there's like people considering doing kids verticals.
I was just thinking that as you said that, like, imagine the iPad kids with vertical that are geared to kids.
I can't. So when I think about that, because I have an alpha, right? Nettie and I both have alphas, Gen Alphas, and that is the iPad kid generation. And I work very hard to limit what she has. But YouTube, I remember having that heavily restricted, and somehow shorts still got through. And they made her crazy. Like, luckily I caught it really fast, but that's basically what the verticals are. They are shorts, and each one ends on some kind of cliffhanger. And yeah, it is a dopamine hit. This is cool. So do you guys ever get clips from the Vertical Buzz on your social media?
The podcast, yes, the podcast. I've heard of him. Yes,
I've heard of it, but no.
Okay, so he recently interviewed Felix, who I didn't know anything about. Felix, he won Best Villain at the Vertical Drama Love Awards, and I didn't know anything about him, but I had seen a vertical on Drama Wave recently that he starred in. It was so good. It was like When the Moon Wears the Crown or something like that. It was super good. And anyway, so now I'm like followed him and understand like he's a good actor. And he should be in a BL, by the way. Like, he would do really good with a lot of these guys. But I don't know if he wants to be, but just saying. But he went on the podcast, and there's some clips of where he's actually talking about the clickbait. And he's talking about what it's doing, like, to our brains. Like, I actually really want to listen to the episode, because what is it going to do to us as adults? I don't know. Does it feed more into our ADHD? Like, I don't know.
So think about like what it does to the kids then. Like, what it does to the adults. Think about what it would do if they really do a kids vertical app. I mean, I can see like a kids vertical app being very successful.
Yep. I wonder if that's why Drama Wave did their AI kitten thing.
Yeah, so Drama Wave did an AI kitten vertical. It's on their app. They did an AI kitten vertical. Like, it's got kittens as the main characters, dude. Like, when I saw it, I was like, this cannot be real. So I like literally went and looked on the app, and sure enough, it's real. It's like kittens playing football.
Yeah. So Jen Cooper brought it up too.
Waterboy with kittens.
Yeah, there you go. Waterboy with kittens.
It's quite Waterboy with kittens, no. But I think there's a girl and a boy kitten.
Yeah. I feel like, here's the thing. I feel like the apps did this all wrong. They got greedy with the AI. Because I think if the apps had started with things that could never possibly be made with real people and their budgets, like there is one out there that's like a mermaid man, okay? Fair. Maybe we could start having that discussion. If they were starting to just bleed those in, like, let's have Waterboy as kittens. They're not going to get real live kittens to make Waterboy, okay? Let's get a mermaid dude who's in love with another dude. Okay, and you're slowly trickling him in, and you're using it for things that you could never possibly do. Sure, maybe the response would have been less aggressive from fans, but what they did is they're like, we're going to take everything you already love, like my secret agent husband, and make it AI. We're like, you already made my secret agent husband. Why the frick frack are you sitting there making it AI? And it's scary because a couple of actors have reported on social media, that's my likeness. What the hell are you doing? And they have to get legal people involved.
So yeah, iDrama specifically was making, they basically made cartoons, that literally featured, I mean, like one of the actors, they even like used his tattoos. And it's the original soundtrack from his vertical that he made. And it's basically, they're calling them tunes, and they're cartoon versions of the same vertical that was already made, identical, because they even use the soundtrack, but they're actually tuning these people's likenesses even, and they didn't tell them. They aren't paying them for that. Like he said, my tattoo is my intellectual property. I actually own that. I designed it. And the fact that you like literally mapped it onto your little AI cartoon person is not acceptable. So
No, it's not. And I think that the apps are making a giant mistake. Like when I really break it down logically, because AI is so much of like the Wild West, there are no regulations. I think there would have been better ways to approach. So my understanding right now, and people can email us if we're wrong, but my understanding is Real Short is trying hard to not go to AI, but they do have some out. And when they do, it's labeled AI. And I don't know any app that's doing that besides them. And then Drama Pops, Candy Jar, and My Drama have no AI, as far as I know. And we don't see any hints that that's going to change. And so I think about where am I going to spend my money? And so I've been pretty loud about who I have a year subscription to. I have a year subscription to Candy Jar. I have a year subscription to Real Short. And I will never have a year subscription to Good Short until they start releasing Human BL. And if they start doing it again, I will subscribe for a year. I almost subscribed to Drama Wave, but we recently found out that they're overturning almost 80% AI. And that's what we were worried about with Flare Flow. So,
well, I mean,
yeah.
we just saw that when just before we released Drive Him Wild, they had a poster up and it had changed the title to Tamed by My Hockey Doctor, which threw us into a little bit of a tizzy. And then that went away, went back to Drive Him Wild, but now they have Tamed by My Hockey Doctor, which is AI. And so it's presumably the same, based on the same script again, because it's...
I won't turn it on to find out. So
no, absolutely not.
I refuse to turn it on to find out. But
that's the only way we can combat it, is to not give them a penny, right? If they're doing this.
I will say, and I'm going to put this out there, and then we can do this. We can end it or do whatever we need to do here. But I'm going to say this really quick because I think it's important. So when I was at the event, and I want to say before I'm going to preface this by saying that I was really grateful to the event for giving me my pitch, and they did a great job, and I don't want to like dog them in any way, shape, or form. But they did have an entire lab in there that was all learning about how to make AI verticals. And they talked a lot about how like they're doing really cool things with AI. Now, all the apps were saying things like, "Oh, well, we're not getting rid of real people either. Like it's gonna be both." They were saying they had no, like all of them said they have no, that were there. Drama Wave wasn't there, and neither was Flare Flow, so I can't speak to those two. But they were saying like we have no plans to eliminate AI, but not AI. I mean, real people, but we also are not gonna not do AI verticals like. And they don't have shame about it. Like they were like, look, they kind of said, we don't care about the fan response. We're going to do it. And they all said that they have a very strong, like they plan to do it as well. Now, a lot of them are only doing it with things that they can't do. Like Lucy suggested.
I mean, the problem is, and I mean, it is a big problem, is that the like I say, the main way we can combat it is to not give them any money. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people all over the world who don't care. And they're still going to give them money, right?
No, I agree. I was thinking about something when you were speaking, Nettie, that for another thing we can do to combat is actually what we're already doing. So there are fan pages out for the actors that we love. There are edits that are being made. There are an army of people, especially in the queer world. Shut up, that was on accident. I'm keeping it. That was on accident. I'm keeping it.
An army, you said.
Did you see my eyes? I was like, oh shit.
That was on accident, but I'm keeping it. Oh, I love it.
If Evan ever listens to this, he'll now figure it out. He'll know exactly who it is.
He knows. I think he knows. He's got to know. I'll take this out.
It's you. I don't think he even knows about me. I don't think he has a clue it's me.
I don't think he has a clue it's you, but I think he was shocked that he knew that we're two people. And I think he will be surprised that it's you. I think he's probably very convinced that it's probably
you.
me.
He probably knows it's you. I was thinking the same thing. And what's funny is the most unhinged thing on there I made.
Yes! It's so true. It's so true. It's been fun, though. So I do feel that one way we continue to combat everything is by being very supportive and of the actors and really expressing to the apps that, hey, this is what we want, and these are the actors that we want. Now, have the three of us specifically had a whole lot of luck with that in the last few months? No, but we're still trying. We might just die trying. But I can throw out the Waterboy fans, because the Waterboy response when that vertical first came out, to me, it was equal to Succum. But there was a difference of the apps. Good Short didn't seem to care as much about the response of Succum, which was giant and actually created a legitimate fandom, right? And I think the difference was the apps. Real Short is different than Good Short. And Real Short, I have to plug them. They have been incredibly supportive of queer content. I like how they're conducting themselves and figuring out how to handle AI. I think they're being respectful to all the actors, and they're being respectful to the fans. And I just have to say that if there is an app you're ever considering subscribing to, that's the one. Because so far, they're conducting themselves really well.
Well, and we have been repeatedly told through sources that they actually are looking at what is being put out there and deciding future things based off that. We've been told that people have received the parts that they received because of the fan response to their work. So, I do think that that's something to say too. So
I agree. So I think that's how we keep combating it, guys. If there's a vertical actor that you love, support them. And there's all sorts of ways to do it.
I don't care if they're straight. I don't care if they're doing straight content either. You need to support them. If you want them to keep working, they need to have support.
Exactly, because the film industry has been a hot mess since the strikes, right? Like there's been all sorts of uncertainty, and that's how verticals were able to rise in America, right? Mm-hmm. People needed to work, and there's been so much discussion. Middle class actors have been pushed out. This is what the middle class actor is doing.
Well, during the strikes, I didn't work for 7 months. So yeah.
And that's scary, and that's terrifying. Yeah. And so, what Nettie was saying is, yeah, it doesn't matter if they're straight or queer. Get what we can give them. And because the industry is such a wild, wild west at this point, there are people listening and there are people paying attention. So that's what we can kind of do.
That's what we can do.
Just keep plugging away, run our little fan pages, and make our podcast. And everyone, you don't have to do that. You don't have to devote your life to it like we have.
Well, I'm not making a podcast. I don't have time to make a podcast, especially if you guys all keep wanting more scripts, because I can only do so much.
Hey, you are doing the most important work. I mean, even people who don't want to get involved to that extent, just sharing the actors' content and their posts and liking them and interacting with them helps to make them more visible too, right? Even just commenting on their Instagram posts helps to push their posts up and make them more visible. So we're no strangers to a comment section around here.
No. Well, I am like infamous for going in the comment section on like when Real Short posts something queer, and I go in their comment section and yell at all the people that were homophobic, because I'm really, really bad about that. And I know I shouldn't do it, but I do it every time.
Yeah. I've gone in and yelled at all the Spanish ones too, because I can.
You speak Spanish, so you can yell at the Spanish ones.
Yeah. So, we gotta do what we can do.
That's
Keep
right.
supporting them.
That's right. Well, I think it's a good time to wrap up if there's no final questions. So thank you again, Nettie, for coming on. We appreciate you so much. This was actually really fun. And I'm really hoping that it does turn out how I'm hoping, because I think everything's sounding really good. So
I think it's fun.
Exactly.
Knock on wood.
I know. So why don't you take us away, Alita?
Well, thank you for joining us today, besties. We'll see you next time. Bye, besties.
Bye, besties.
Bye, besties.